Welcome to The Explainer. So, you're looking to rent a place in Texas. Awesome! But then you see it, the official residential lease application. It can look a little intense, right? Well, don't worry. Today, we're going to break it all down, piece by piece, and make this whole thing totally simple and stress-free. Are you staring at a pile of rental paperwork and just feeling overwhelmed? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. But today, we're going to turn that confusing form into a super clear roadmap that'll help you lock down your next home.
We've got this broken down into 5 easy parts. We'll kick things off with what you need before you even start filling it out. Then we'll cover how to tell your story, tackle those important questions, understand the fine print, and finally, what happens right after you hit that submit button.
Okay, first things first, preparation. Honestly, the secret to a smooth application is just having everything you need before you even start. Think of it like getting your toolkit all ready to go. All right, let's get into the specifics. You're going to need a government-issued ID, like a driver's license. You'll also need 2 full months of pay stubs. And hey, quick tip here. If you get paid every 2 weeks, that actually means you'll need your last 4 stubs. You'll also need 2 months of bank statements to show where that pay is being deposited. And listen up, this part is super important. Landlords do not accept screenshots. All of these documents need to be PDF files ready to email over to your agent.
Okay, this is a really big deal, so you not want to miss this. It's not one application for the whole house. Under Texas law, every single person who is 18 years or older and plans to live there has to fill out and submit their very own separate application. So make sure your roommates, your partner, or any other adults are ready to do the same.
Now, you might think this is just common sense, but get this. This quote is pulled directly from the application form itself. They strongly encourage you to go see the property with your own eyes before applying. And for good reason. Pictures can be deceiving, right? You want to be absolutely sure you like the place, the neighborhood, and the overall condition before you get locked into a contract.
Okay, let's move on to the next section. This is really the heart of the application. It's where you get to tell your story and build a profile that shows the landlord you're going to be a great, responsible tenant.
The easiest way to think about this is like you're building a resume, but for renting. Your residence history, that's your track record as a tenant. Your employment and income history, that proves you're financially stable and can pay the rent. See? Together, they paint the whole picture for the landlord.
And just so you know, they are definitely going to check this stuff. The property manager will absolutely be contacting your old landlords and employers. That's why it's so critical to double-check that every single phone number and email you provide is accurate. The last thing you want is a delay because they couldn't reach someone.
Up next, we've got a section with some very direct yes or no questions. It can feel a little bit like you're under a microscope, but the number one rule here is simple. Transparency is key. You've got to be completely honest.
As you can see, the questions are pretty standard. They cover 4 main areas. If you've ever been evicted, broken a lease, filed for bankruptcy, or been convicted of a crime. This is standard screening you'll see on pretty much every rental application out there.
Now here's the thing. If you do have to answer yes to one of these, it is not the end of the world. It doesn't mean you're automatically rejected. What landlords really care about is honesty. Trying to hide something that they're just going to find on a background check anyway? That's probably the fastest way to get your application denied.
We are so close to the finish line. This last part, right before you submit, is the authorization. It's really important to understand exactly what you're saying yes to when you sign this.
First things first, you're giving them the green light to run a credit report. By submitting this application, you're giving the landlord explicit permission to check out your credit history. They want to see how you've handled payments and debts in the past.
And you're also saying okay to a criminal background check. Again, this is totally standard procedure. It's how property managers review public records for you and any other adults who will be living in the home.
So let's just put it all together. When you sign this application, you're giving your formal consent for the landlord to verify everything you've put down. Your credit, your criminal record, your rental history, and your employment.
Now let's think ahead for a minute. After you're approved, you're going to sign a lease. And you really need to understand this isn't just another piece of paper. It is a legally binding contract. Once that lease is signed, you can't just change your mind and walk away without facing some serious financial penalties.
And here's how the money part usually goes down. It's a 2-step process. The day you sign the lease, you'll be expected to pay the security deposit. Then, later on, your actual move-in day, your first full month's rent will be due. So just be prepared for those 2 payments.
All right, deep breath. You've gathered all your documents, you've filled everything out honestly, and you've clicked that submit button. So what happens now?
Well, things usually start moving pretty quickly. As soon as your application is received, those credit and background checks begin. You'll want to keep a really close eye on your email, because that's how they'll reach out with any questions or let you know the next steps. Typically, you can expect to hear back with a decision in about 48 hours.
So there you have it. Hopefully, breaking down the Texas rental application like this makes it feel way less intimidating. It's really just a system to make sure there's a good fit between you and the property. Just remember, being prepared and being honest is the best way to go. So, now that you know the whole process, what's the very first document you're going to get ready?